Good morning, everyone. Today is Thursday. We're getting to the end of the week here. Woof, what a week. November 20th, and today is the coverage on RODY. Hopefully the audio is nice and clean. No snap, crackle, pop, but I guess we'll see how this goes. So obviously, big news yesterday, Nvidia earnings. I know we got to cover it, right? We got to talk about it. Did they do well? Because the market depends on it, right? Let's see. Nvidia shares rise on stronger than expected revenue forecast. Woohoo! Oh yeah. All right, let's read some bullets here. This is from CNBC. Nvidia reported fiscal third quarter earnings Wednesday, top Wall Street expectations. CEO Jensen Huang said sales for Nvidia's current generation GPU called Blackwell are off the charts. Sweet. A lot of emojis or whatever you call it with him like flexing or something out there, which is pretty funny. Nvidia said it expects about $65 billion in sales for the current quarter versus 1.43 earnings per share on $61.66 billion of revenue expected by analysts. Okay, whatever. All right, earnings per share 130 adjusted versus the 125 estimate. Revenue 57 versus the 54 billion. So obviously, they did better than that was predicted. So usually, sometimes that's not enough. But it looks like today, you know what? Let's check. Nvidia, right? That's how you spell it. Nvidia is up 5% in the pre-market. So I'd say that's pretty damn good. So if Nvidia goes up, what does that mean for other stocks? Who the hell knows, right? Who the hell knows? What does it mean for Bitcoin? Well, it looks like it kind of helped. Let's see. When was earnings? Like 420, I think earnings was. So let's see. Bitcoin was at 89. And then look at that. After 420, your favorite holiday, boop, 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 boop. And then it went up and up and up and up and up. It even hit, what was this high? It's 92.8. And now it's back to 91.6. So maybe it helped Bitcoin. All right. That's what it looks like. All right. So this video is to cover options trading update, RODY, in particular, my options trading. And I will do a 200% zoom because I always forget, but here we go. Again, to recap, what am I doing? I'm trying a new strategy, many strategies, and it's not limited to any one thing. But right now, I'm saving, I'll say capital, trying to build my own synthetic position via the buy, call, sell, put, position, which, essentially that would track the underlying one for one, because I would buy a call and then I would sell a put at the same strike at the same expiration. All right. That's essentially what they call like the delta one. And then it moves one for one, dollar per dollar with the underlying. Right. So that, again, replicates the movement of the underlying that you want to trade. Now, the difference is here. I also buy the put. I would also buy a put just in case, right? In case there's a market like this, right? And the market tanks. So you'd buy a put with a strike price a little lower, typically 20% lower than the call, and put price that you chose above. And then after that, then it's party time. Then you start selling calls on a weekly basis, making that income, because this is a long-term position, right? You shouldn't really have to touch this, at least right away. It just sits there, it's an expense out of pocket. You're paying. Yep. And then what you're doing is you're selling calls on that position. So it's a wonderful thing. All right. Definitions, I'm not going to go through that, but rules, I'm going to actually adjust my rules because I'm noticing, with the market, you just never know, especially with a 6-month term. I think I'm going to change for the non-leveraged rule. I'm going to go out a year. I'm going to go out Should I say 9 months, or I should make it a year? I'll say for now, I'll say 9 months, because I know sometimes going out a year is a little costly. So we'll start to raise that, because again, the shorter the term, the tougher it is, because you don't want to end this trade with your underlying less than when, at the time you essentially, purchased the buy, call, sell, put, right? You want it to be, of a higher value. If it isn't, that's fine, as long as you earn enough premium from selling calls. All right. So again, let's just go through the rules. I haven't really covered these. The synthetic strike should be at or close to the money. So when you do that buy, call, sell, put, right, that would be essentially at the money. And then it says here you would only add to the synthetic position on a 10% plus drop. This is mine, because what I did on one of them, and I always say I'll punch myself in the face for it, and I do. I averaged up like a dumbass. So I'm not going to do that anymore. What I'll do is, if I'm up, I'm up. And then that position does its thing. Great, wonderful. I'll leave it alone. And then I'll look for other opportunities. The protective put, we just talked about this, should be at least 20% below the synthetic strike, which, pretty simple. Expiration date on leverage funds, which, to be honest, I'm not sure. I'm not ready for leverage funds on this strategy, because this is kind of a leveraged trade itself. But if I do leverage funds, due to the the eroding, due to the daily balancing on the leverage funds, you want to keep it a little shorter term, 90 days. And the problem with that is you have to worry now about that, and then you have to maybe more average in more. But again, I don't feel the need to use leverage. Maybe I would do like one for the leverage. Like I'd probably do like a TSLL, just because it's freaking awesome. All right. Anyway, expiration date on non-leverage. Again, we just updated this to, up to 9 months. When selling calls at a strike, again, I don't even remember. When selling calls at a strike more than 10% under the synthetic, use diagonals to limit, or I'll say, under 0.2 delta. That's what I'm thinking. We'll add the 0 so it looks better. All right. So that's my thought on that. Roll in the money calls that go over 95 delta. I think M Cheese, shout out to M Cheese. By the way, M Cheese, I don't know your YouTube name, so either you're just never up for the live, or you have a different YouTube name, but let me know your YouTube name. Or extrinsic under 0.10, which we'll get into this on the open breakdown. But here's the synthetic position. Again, we talk about delta 1 when you do a buy, call, sell, put. Here's the delta, right, of a $28, right? We went over this before, but we could do it again for everyone that missed it. The delta on the call, 0.62. The delta on the put, 0.36. Add them together. What do you get? You get a 1, delta 1. What does delta mean? That's the movement dollar per dollar with the underlying. So if the underlying moves $1, the option moves $1. Hence the, mimicking the movement of the underlying. If this is not a delta 1, then obviously it's not going to move dollar per dollar. It's going to move whatever the hell the delta is, if that makes sense. Okay. All right, my watch list. You could see I'm trading open, SoFi, ELF, Hood, Palantir, recent addition, IWM, and of course I added SPY and the Qs, because I am interested on trading indexes. However, they're too damn expensive, so I'm probably not going to do that anytime soon. But hey, never say never. All right, moving on. Screenshots. I did not add anything there. So let's just get to the trades, the action. And let me just check the comments first, make sure you guys don't have any questions. I will pull up questions as we go. Let me know if you guys have questions, because I don't know if this is I'm trying to explain it so everyone understands it. I know a lot of people are just here for support, and I appreciate that. But if anyone actually, wants to understand something a little more, just let me know as we go. Because you got your ass up early, so you might as well take advantage of it, right? We have 102 people here from YouTube and X combined. So whether you're on YouTube or X, if you type a comment, and it may be a little delayed, but I'll get it and I could pull it up and I could cover the, answer the question live. But anyway, here's the open synthetic. Again, I opened this in October 6th and October 10th. You could see $8 was the buy, call, sell, put price. And then I bought a put at $6. All right. Now, the expense of this synthetic, $1,200. Okay, great, wonderful, whatever. Now calls, I've been selling calls on, again, those 6 contracts I opened. What I'm doing is I'm kind of doing groups of 2 just to make it a little easier. I had a contract for each strike. I was driving myself nuts, but I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm either going to do 3 sets at 2, 2 sets at 3, or even 1 at 6, right? I'll just do all 6 together. But for now, I got an 8, an 850, and a 9. And now open has been tanking. It's actually at $6.69. So these suckers are way out of the money, way out of the money. So, the question is, and I've been focusing on this $8 one. When do you close? When is it worth it to close the covered call? All right. So again, I got 55 cents premium when I opened this. It was not in the money. It was out of the money, right? So the intrinsic value was 0. The extrinsic was the total premium, 55 cents. So as you know, I've been tracking that, right? So day over day, I had 55 cents, right? They paid me that premium, 55 cents premium, right? In fact, let me make this like let's do a white and then. There you go, 55 cents. It looks a little cooler, right? Can we give it borders? Let's see if we give it borders. Yeah, it doesn't. Let's see if we give it a nice green border. Does that work? No. There you go. No, that didn't do crap. Oh boy. Oh, look at that. Look at that. It's so pretty. All right. Anyway, let's look at it. 55 cents. They paid me out of pocket. All right. So day 1, right? Monday or 14th, whatever the hell that is. The extrinsic went from 55 because, again, they paid me this. So automatically, as soon as I get paid, the position opens in my account, and then it shows essentially that it costs 55 cents to close it. So if I opened it, if I sold a covered call, I got 55 cents per share. If I want to close it right away, I have to pay 55 cents per share, right? Because that's the current value of that position. Now, after day 1 or 11/14, whatever, the close of 11/14, that extrinsic value went to 50 cents. Okay, so it burned 8%. All right. Day 2, the value of the extrinsic value, 41 cents, 25% burn. All right. 11/18, 24 cents, 55% burn. Yesterday, 5 cents. The extrinsic value of this covered call is 5 cents. I burnt 90%. This means I'm at a profit of 90% on the extrinsic side. So if I close it, I'm keeping at least 90%. All right, which is awesome. So no brainer, right? We should close this position, right? We should cash this sucker out. We should either do a buy to close or a rolling order and close it. I know it's only Thursday, but why keep it open any longer? Take advantage with the new position of additional time value. Because if I sell a covered call today, it's going to have more time value, more extrinsic value starting today versus starting tomorrow, if that makes sense. All right. And of course, yes, I've been tracking the change of the extrinsic on the long call, and it doesn't move down as much. If you look at the percentage basis, day over day, I'm burning 18% a day versus 7, 40% versus 15, 77% versus 20. And again, I know this doesn't help for this example. I really made that for if we're selling in the money, and there is an intrinsic value, but there's also a purpose for this on when to close a position. So 5 cents. It's 5 cents. Why not? Yeah, we close this sucker, right? Move on. Open the new position. Get more money. All right. So I'm going to close this covered call right here. And I'm going to say, peace out. Peace out, son. And if I look over here, I also have an 850 covered call. Should I make this look pretty? Yes, I should. It's so pretty. You're so pretty. All right, let's do this. Dun, 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 dun. We're going to go here. Dun, 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 dun. Boom, thick borders. Boom, color. And boom. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I enjoyed that. Anyway, so you can see I collected 75 cents. I'm burning 12, up to 41, up to 50, not 86%. So probably at the market open, this thing is going to be at a freaking 90% burn. So I'm probably going to roll both of these, either buy to close or roll. Again, the reason I would do a buy to close versus a roll is if I want to wait, if I think that this fund, this open fund is going to recover. And I could sell covered calls maybe, when it has a little more of a recovery, because it has been tanking. As you can see, let's go over the past 5 days. Look at this. It was up and it was like, yeah, open's doing good. Down we go. Down we go. Down. All right. So pre-market, though, we are up 2.69%. So hallelujah. Hallelujah. But this is the range, man. Open can go down to 5, it can go back up to 9. We're just playing around with it. It is one of the riskier options too. So, but yeah, I hope this helps. You guys got to let me know, because this is a pain in the ass to track, just so you know. But again, sometimes it doesn't. People say things, but yeah, I need to see it too. I need to plug it in and see it. And now that I see it, it's makes sense, right? Of course, yes. Close this position, of course. A horse is a horse, of course. All right, open holdings. My current synthetic value. Again, I paid $1,200 out of pocket. Right now, the synthetic, it's kind of in the crapper. It's worth $219 if I cashed it out today. So that's really an unrealized loss of $981. But again, the goal is just to continue to make money on the covered call side, which I have been. And you can see covered calls, I've made about 1,147, which almost covers the expense of the synthetic. So once I cover that, great. Then I want to cover at least the remaining downside through the put differential. All right. Makes sense? Great. DPC Dad says 90% is a win. Anything over 85%, I usually close. See, that's good information. If you're wondering what other people do, then there you go. It's not all about me, right? There's other people. We want to know what other people do. It's a dead company that can't turn a profit. Are you talking about Open? We shall see, right? We shall see. But that, with a thought like that, that's what makes it so damn volatile, which makes it pay the damn premium. It's a gamble. That is for sure. Not denying that. All right, let's look at SoFi. This is the one I averaged up. I started a position at 26. Now, again, I added 31. Stupid. I know. Don't remind me. Dumbity-doo-dah. So I paid $22.04 out of pocket, $2,204. I'm selling covered calls. Again, how many contracts? If you look up here, you can see I added one because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And then I added 2, and then I added 2 more. So I got 5. So covered call wise, if you add up the contracts here, 5. I got 5. Okay. They all expire Friday. I got how many strike prices? I got 5 strike prices too. Again, maybe it overcomplicates it. Maybe I don't need so many. But again, I'm learning. We'll see. Maybe I'll do a 3-2 where I'll shrink it together. I don't know. All right, but you can see here, these are all actually out of the money. SoFi, just kind of like the rest of the market, has been crappy, right? Crappity-doo. So, but they are up in the pre-market. They are at 27.40. So I have a couple options here. Some of these, again, the extrinsic is going to be very low since it is Thursday already. And it's going to be very cheap to close, especially the higher strike prices, because they're way out of the money, the 31 to 32. So I thought there I would do a buy to close. I could wait a day. I could wait till Monday and hope that it recovers. So, and I may, and I did that, but I'm not going to do it on the whole position. I did that on the whole position on Robinhood, and it kind of screwed me. So I may roll some of these. I may roll the lower strikes, and I may do a buy to close on the higher ones. But I don't know. We'll see. All right, so total premium earned on SoFi, 1322. I've only made about 96 bucks this week though, but again, if I'm, comparing that versus the how much capital I'm using on SoFi is 4,304. Even with just this one stinking, what is that, one trade? Yeah, one trade. That is a 2.23%, return, which annualizes to 115. But guess what, bros? I got more trades to come this week. So this annualized yield on SoFi is going to be rather sweet. And these are the numbers that you should honestly keep an eye on. Yeah, the time I started this whole RODY thing, it's bad. It's really bad. But you know what? At the same time, I kind of needed this for myself and maybe you guys, so you could see this strategy actually still works in a crap market. But we may even recover. So again, but that's the beauty of, remember I said I want to push the synthetic expiration out to 9 months. That way it's less worry on the immediate turnaround. But hey man, we'll see. Synthetic value, I'm down about 721. But again, how much did I make on calls? You saw that here. Where is it? 1,322. So I'm getting there. All right, ELF on the shelf. So most of 2/3 of the we'll call it the synthetic combo got assigned. So I do have this loaner long call. It's a 125. I did not close it. Again, if I closed it, I would have made like 30 bucks or something. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to keep it open and I'm going to sell calls on it. And of course, I have the other position, which is a 75. I'm treating these both as standalones. I'm not really averaging them together at the moment. So since they are standalones, if I look at what I did on the 125, I sold a call on the 18th, expiration date this week. It was at 73.52. I went 10% out of the money. The delta on that was under 0.1. So if you look at one of my rules, I said under 0.2, but I'm kind of scared, to be honest. I don't want it to get any danger of assignment. So I went under 0.1. I chose an $81 strike and I got 23 cents per share. So $23. Instead of doing nothing, I'm just collecting a weekly income on the long call that's useless. That thing is going to be worth nothing in the end because ELF is not going to recover to $125, all right, by January 16th. But I'm taking advantage of it. I'm utilizing that and I'm selling calls against it, but safely, to basically not risk assignment, all right? Because if I do get assigned, I have to sell the shares at whatever strike price I show, but I don't own the shares, but normally you have the synthetic. If I look at the synthetic, oh, I can own the shares here, but I have to pay 125. No, that's a freaking ripoff. So again, I do not want assignment. So I'm being very, very safe on this trade. Now, the other trade is the 75. Again, that one I can go aggressive. I'm selling calls at 75. If it blows through the 75, fine. My long call is at 75. So that's going to be just fine and dandy. So that's kind of where I stand here. On ELF, I already made, $223 for the week. My capital use is 2,028. You can see massive return on ELF for this week so far. ELF Holdings, my synthetic, again, the put side is gone. It's a realized loss already, so we already know that. But the current synthetic is in the positive, so that's good. But overall, I am down about 1,600. Moving on to Robinhood. Actually, let me go to comments, see if there's any comments. Nikki made 500 on buying open, super low, and selling open when the market gets better. Great idea. Good morning. Off to work, Double D. Listening in the car. Happy Thursday. Damn, Double D, you need a day off. You off weekends? He's always working. All right, so let's keep going. We're on Robinhood. All right, Robinhood. Again, they took a beating once I started my position. I opened up 145 and a 140. And since then, Robinhood has gone down. So, you could see yesterday they kind of closed at 118. At least in the pre-market, they are up 2.4%. But man, you could see, like it got destroyed. So in reality, if I think about my rules, I had a 145 strike. I should not have averaged down so soon. I opened a new position at 140 because it dropped. I'm like, oh my God, it's on sale. No, don't do that. Let it drop a little further, and then when it gets to a certain range, and then you should add to the position, at least for me, because I could see how this is working. And I got my ass kicked now on 2 contracts versus the 1. So at least if I had, much lower, position on the second contract, I would have been doing much better than I am now. But it doesn't matter. We're still here. We're still fighting. So I spent $3,342 on that synthetic. I've been selling covered calls. I got one that expires Friday, tomorrow. It's a 130. It's out of the money, man. It's 10% out of the money. Are we in danger of assignment? No. Robinhood's at 120. Again, the problem here, these strikes, this is low. This is lower than my synthetic. So I am in a scared position. You can see my delta, 0.1. So if I'm going to probably let this burn out, either do a buy to close and wait for the weekend, hope for a Monday pop again, or I'm going to do a rolling order, but I may boost this back up. If Robinhood keeps going up, of course. If it goes back down, then I'll just roll it at 130, probably, and then we'll see from there. This one expires next week, so I have no choice but to have a position open through the weekend, and hopefully, it stays strong. We'll see. All right, Robinhood side piece. If you missed the previous video, yeah, it's what did I do? What is this side piece? Think about it. We're in Robinhood. We're underwater, right? We're selling calls. We're barely getting freaking premium because we're scared, right? We're scared. So our deltas are weak sauce, right? We're low. We're under 0.2. In fact, we're 0.1. We're in the 0.1 range. So we need another way to collect premium. So you know what? We said, we'll sell put. We'll sell put a month out expiration. We're going to lower our strike to 100. Robinhood's not hitting 100, right? And if it does, guess what? We'll add to the position again. But, we're essentially saying, yeah, I dare you to hit that 100. And if it does hit the 100, if it does go below 100, we'll just roll this out another month and we'll lower the strike prices and we'll continue to collect the premium from the side piece. If Robinhood goes up, this thing expires worthless, great. We collect money from the side piece and now we can move on. How much did I collect so far? 110. All right. That gets added to the premium. Wonderful. Great. Yippee-ki-yay. Again, synthetic wise, you could see, yeah, it's in the negative. So essentially, we're down a lot. We're down about 3,900 on the synthetic position. But again, covered call wise, how much did we collect? We collected about 2,100 so far. But again, we got some help from the side piece. That's an additional 110. So you'll see those numbers added together at the end of the, the later tabs. All right. So let me catch up on some comments. Delta 0.1. Yeah, Delta 0.1 when I do not want assignment for sure. It depends. It depends, where I'm at in the position. If I'm starting a new position, I'm going to be aggressive on the call because I'm going to do at the money. Because, if it goes up, you're fine. Your synthetic will cover you. But when your synthetic has a higher strike than when you're selling covered calls on, it gets a little iffy. So again, it's either like the 0.1 delta, like we said, or it's a diagonal, which a diagonal is a little more work, which I don't have time for half the time. Like that ELF trade, I was in the office. I can't do a freaking diagonal and, so I just did, all right, let me do a 0.1 delta. And yeah, it's just easier sometimes to do certain things. Good morning, 5-0. Woo, woo, woo. Shout out to 5-0 and his boys, probably working. Let's see. He actually is 5-0, by the way. Let's see. I did a nice IV premium collection on Nvidia. Yeah, man. I wish I had Nvidia here. I don't know. I got too many. I can't do any more. Do I ever roll down in the same week? That's a good question. I have not. I have done it in the past for sure. But on any of these, like rolling down. It's like, how much further am I going to risk this, right? So it really depends. If the market continues to drop, I would. Yes, I would, just to collect more premium. But I have to keep it really, really less risky. But yes, of course, I would do that if my strike was above the synthetic. Yeah, that's easy. Easy, yes. Especially if you can collect more premium. But you see the positions I'm in on some of these, and it's not, it's just kind of burying yourself if, God forbid, the market just does a quick turn. All right, let's cover Palantir real quick. You could see, again, just like the others, I started a position and the market tanked. I opened at 190 and then a 180. So in reality, yeah, I should not have opened the 180. But again, what is, so that's $10, right? So if you think about $10 versus 190, that's 5% move. So in reality, yeah, maybe I should have done a $20. So that would have been adding at 170, right? 170 versus 180. So again, back to my rule, it has to be at least a 10% change, right? Maybe even 20. I don't know, but I put 10, I think, because again, I added too early, like a dumbass, and now I have to pay. But I'll get, we'll be fine. It's not a big deal. All right, expense on the synthetic, $3,200. Great, wonderful. We got covered calls. They both expire tomorrow. Tomorrow they expire tomorrow. It's only a day away. All right. Anyway, what do we got? We got 190 and a 185. Way out of the money. These things are expiring, worthless. But the only question is, what do I do today? Do I close them? Do I roll them? What do I do? I don't know. I haven't thought about it. But, selling calls at this strike, it's not going to pay a lot, because it's really, look how far out of the money it is, 14%. These were 7% out of the money when I opened them, but I don't know. We'll see. But overall, so far, I've been collecting about $756 in total for covered calls. Again, the synthetic expense, $3,200. So it's a struggle bus right now on the Palantir's RODY position, but we'll get there. You can see the unrealized loss, 28.48. But yeah, whatevs. All right, let me get to the comments. Again, we're doing both. We're going comments, we're going spreadsheet. We're going comments, we're going spreadsheet. All right, so yeah, see, he's in the squad car right now. Cannot comment. Go get him. Go get him. All right, so, and by the way, let's all say to 5-0, thank you for your service, bro. We appreciate it, and your other bros with you. Let's see. There he is. There's the man of the hour, SB, who's going to be on the morning show Monday. So let's give him a hard time on the Monday. Give him some tough questions. And guess what? SB's daughter is going to be a part of the show. So we shall welcome her. I'm not sure of her YouTube name. Oh, crap. There he is. Oh, so your name is M Cheese on YouTube. I just don't see you because you're never up, maybe. Hey, Ron, I'm usually just watching on the TV. Does it only show me logged in when I'm on the phone? Yeah, no, it wouldn't show you unless you put a comment, so I wouldn't know if you're here. But yeah, awesome. This is awesome. All right, let's continue. But thank you for being here. So M Cheese, SB, and SB's daughter are the guests for this coming Monday. It's going to be all options, baby. So they're the experts. Ask them any complicated questions. They will be there. I will ask them questions because, again, I'm freaking still learning. All right, synthetic positions. What do we got? We added to the, we started an IWM position, IWM being the Russell 2000. It's not leverage. Oh my God, not leverage. All right, 235 strike. Again, it cost me about $1,294 to add this position. I sold a covered call, same strike, basically 235, right? And I got a pretty penny for it, 294. You can see the delta on that is 0.48. But again, I don't care. It's at the same strike as a synthetic. So if this gets blown through, it's not a big deal, right? So 294, again, that's what I collected. Look, check this out, right? The 294 I made for the week. I essentially, the capital put up shows 5,794. Where does that come from? Well, it comes from here. I'm adding the synthetic, the cost of the synthetic plus the downside risk, 5,794. So that is essentially, I'm calling that the capital being used. So if I made 294 on 5,794 for 1 week, that is a 5% return. If I multiply that by 52 weeks, that is a 263% annualized yield. Is that good money? Yes. Yes. Yeah. 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 All right. So anyway, moving on. We'll see how this trade goes. I have a good feeling about this because it's a freaking index. It doesn't move like these crazy lunatics, these individual underlyings, right? So you can see here, synthetic right now. Yeah, I'm down, of course. I'm down on, everything goes down when you buy it. Down only 122. Again, on the paper, as they say, unrealized. All right, so I'm going to the weekly income tab now. Again, this is going to go up because I have a lot of trades I'm going to do today and tomorrow. So the next RODY update will probably be on the Saturday because tomorrow, I told you guys I'll do Friday for granted, or yield boost, I should say. But anyway, the premium income here, $843. The capital used, 32,000. The total return, 2.6%. And if you annualize that, 135. But this is going to go up in time. But yeah, again, we'll see. We'll see how things go. Keep in mind, if I start getting blown through my strikes, my actual premium income will go down, right? So the fact that we're actually going down, the market's going down, the covered calls are winning, right? But if the market flies high and my covered calls get blown through, the premium income will struggle. But again, that'll be okay because then the synthetic will actually show that it's in a profit or actually making money. But again, when we get to that, we'll talk about it. No reason to harp on it now. All right, monthly income, nothing to update there. We'll update the November numbers at the end of the month. Again, this is something I'll update at the end of each week. I did not. This should be formula-based, I guess, right? So open calls. Actually, I could just go down one row. Open should be 0. Yep. Okay, good. So this is easy, actually. 50. And then we'll do 36. Then we'll do 34. And then we'll do 34. And then IWM will be 35. Wait, that's not right. 35. Oh, it's picking up the wrong freaking field. IWM calls. Here it is, 294. Okay. So 439. That's not right. Do I have any money on the Palantir calls? No. Forgot about the hood side piece too. 120 on that. Yeah, 120, but we're going to do plus side piece, right? This freaking side piece. There it is. Right there, 110. So that puts us up to 549, which doesn't match the 843 still. What the hell am I missing? ELF, SoFi, Open. ELF 223. Or not, 230. 220, no, 223. And then Robinhood 230. See, I shouldn't have started this now. Now I have to finish it. Robinhood. Yeah, that's with the side piece. And then we got what? ELF 223. And then, I do have 50. This is row 50 on Open. Okay. 50. What the hell was that pulling? Open. Oh my God. All right. Let me fix this. My bad. Open calls. Here we go. No, 0. See what the whatever. All right. Yeah, something screwed up here. So my weekly income shows 843. I'll have to adjust this, but whatever. Active holdings. I wanted to show this real quick. This is my portfolio. This is the RODY fund. I have Open, real estate sector, SoFi, financial sector, ELF, consumer staples, Robinhood, financials, Palantir, technology, IWM, obviously index related, Russell 2000. So what I do is I track, let me zoom out a little because it's tough to see. I'm tracking how much we're paying on the synthetic position, which includes all three legs, how much we're making on covered calls, and then how much downside risk, how much additional risk we do have. So comparing just the synthetic expense versus the covered call, currently we have not turned a profit on any of them, but we are damn close on Open. We are close on SoFi as well, but not too close. And then, of course, there's after that, once I flip this screen, I'm going to now focus on flipping the total green, which again, that would consider the downside exposure. And by the way, considering the downside exposure, now I'm obviously below here, I'm tracking the allocation based on exposure, okay? Not based on how much I paid, based on the current exposure. My highest position is Palantir. So you can see $10,000 at risk. So again, should I be worried? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Robinhood, 23%. IWM, 18%. But again, we'll see. And then, of course, I'm doing the as-at values, which will track the current synthetic position value net of the expense. Sometimes, it's negative. And actually, in all cases, it's negative because the market's been down. And then, of course, I'm adding back the call income. And you can see Open, I am up on my position by 13%. SoFi, I'm up 27%. But everything else is everything except IWM is in the negative. All right. But more importantly, the reason I'm doing this is because I do not have to use a lot of capital. And you can see how much capital I'm saving on each position, a total of $80,000. Okay? Does that make sense? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. Let's catch up on the comments. All right. So let's see. Present. Yes, it's nice to see M Cheese here. All right, let's see. Rod, you like that Nvidia kidding post on is that where it was posted? Where him in the muscle shirt or something? The Nvidia guy, the CEO, whatever his name is. Rod, please show the leaps you hold, the synthetic, which strike. My leaps are horrible. I could show you them though. Absolutely. I'm going to get to that in a second on the wheel strategy. The leaps though, the leaps tab will have to move to RODY file. Oh, that thing? No, I don't. That's disturbing actually. Yeah, I had 2 cups of coffee already. Definitely going to have a third after this video. Work has been insane. Can't wait for this week to end. All right. Anyway, wheel strategy. All right. Again, quick update on the wheel. What I'm trying to do is get out of the wheel because I cannot, 2 reasons. I just can't monitor both anymore. It's becoming a distraction trying to do both. And number 2, I want to give RODY a full effort try because I have a lot of capital being locked up in the wheel that I want to free to do some new trades on the RODY, because I do feel good about, doing that strategy. But as I try to exit the wheel, I have a large position on TSLL. Right now, I have 500 shares, all have covered calls. You can see I lowered some trades for this week, $15 strike price. These will get assigned. So I'll get $3,000 back in the account, which is fine. It's great. And then for the next week, I have 2 covered calls, a 16 and a 17. We'll see how those go. I don't know. I should roll them down. I have puts everywhere too. So I will be closing out the puts when I find the opportunity. All right. So, but for TSLL on the way out, I'm making money, of course. For this week, I'm at $454. TNA, I have a call. I have 100 shares there. I have a covered call that expires 12/12. I'm probably, I said it the other day, but I didn't have a chance, but I'm going to roll this one down to strike, probably move it up in expiration too. And that way it gets assigned earlier and I get my whatever money that, that comes about. And then of course I have a put, $35 strike. It's 11% out of the money. So this is going to expire worthless on its own. Actually, I could probably close it today if TNA is going to be up. In fact, let's check it. It's TNA Dynamite. Yeah, it's up 1.83%. So again, if I go here, I have a $35 strike price. It's going to be probably pretty cheap to close. How much did I collect? 65 cents per share. So yeah, not much. So even if it costs like 10 cents, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's worth it to close. I might have to wait till tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see. All right, open. 2 covered calls left. I got 200 shares. Again, I want these to get assigned. They're both at $6. Even though open did drop to 669, I don't see it going below 6. But if it goes below 6, I'll just sell even a lower strike. Because again, I'm trying to get rid of these. ST, I sold again aggressive covered calls on all 8 contracts. Dollar strike. It's at 105, so we'll see how this goes. And yeah, how much did this pay me? 120. So again, we're making some money here on the way out. And then NAC, I sold what, $1 strike. What was the price at current price? 175. No. Wait a second. Yeah, that. How the hell did that happen? 163. That's higher than I thought, actually. All right, whatever. But yeah, these should be assigned and go bye-bye by Friday. All right, someone asked about the leaps. I forget who that was. I think it was, where is he at? Where are you at? Yeah, Black Mamba. Okay. So, again, the leaps, this was just me trying something. But to give you kind of an idea of what I was doing, I did an open. I bought a call and open originally, right? September 23rd. I ended up closing it on the 25th because I paid, what did I pay? I paid $4.94. No, $4.30 per share. I cashed it out for $5.10, $80 profit. Boom, boom, boom. So I did that one. I'm kind of closing them out as I make a profit. On MSTU, I also bought a call. You can see I paid $2.10. Where is it? 76. I made I paid $1.34. I closed it for $2.10, $76 profit. And then on the put side, I bought puts, which is also called leaps, by the way. I bought a put on TSLL twice. I paid what? $5 on one. I made $50 there. Closed it for $5.50, and then a $5.15 here. I closed it for $5.35. So again, so far in the leaps that I closed, I did make $226, which I know that's not a lot of money, and I'm not really adding it to what I track here. But I may add, I don't know, some additional leaps for downside protection. I don't know, really. I'm not gonna lie. Like these 3 open leaps, these are garbage. This is a $9 strike. I don't know. I mean, the January, that's definitely garbage. Who knows what's gonna happen? But maybe that has a chance. But I don't know if that helped Black Mamba. All right, let's see. Sunita's leaving us. That's messed up. All right, let's see what else we got here. Coffee and ibuprofen. That's actually what I just had for breakfast. Parabolic still working. Thank you for your service, Parabolic. Nursing it up over there. Haven't had coffee in years. Man, good for you. It's good for your teeth. No coffee. No coffee stain. All right. All right, let's keep going. Open, forget that. Weekly income. Are we tracking this still? Let's see. Yeah, for this week, we've made $1,435. Again, we're aggressively getting out of these, so I'm not too worried. But yeah, so that's the update on RODY. That's the update on the wheel. But again, I'm getting out of the wheel strategy. I'm going to focus on the RODY going forward. But I'll track wheel. I'll track the wheel on the way out, right? So we'll see how much money we can make. One thing what else do we want to talk about? I mean, we want to look at the indexes actually. So S&P is up 1%, NASDAQ up 1.44, Dow Jones is up 0.5, and the Russell is up 0.5. So perfect. We have a green day. It's going to be great. Finally, I don't remember the last time I even said that when I was making a video, that we're going to have a green day. But I mean, good. But SB jumped out of open. Yeah, I mean, I'm not worried. I think I'll be fine. We'll see. Let's see. I don't care about stains. Coffee is necessary. Yeah, just brush, right? Just brush and you'll be all right. All right. Anything else? Any other questions before we wrap it up? Wrap it in. Let me begin. Let's look at Bitcoin. It's not doing crap really. So again, I'll do another update on the RODY. Like I said, probably Saturday. Actually, not the morning. Actually, I think I have a guys' night Friday, so I may actually just take off on the Saturday morning. Maybe I'll do a video later in the afternoon. We shall see. Because now that I've made my YouTube life a little more flexible, I could breathe a little bit. All right, so yeah, we added the index. Are you going to add SPY or Qs, SB? Or maybe you do have the Qs already, you said. Uh-oh, you got to sign shares of RCAT. Nice. Well, hopefully RCAT rises, right? What is your strike price, Parabolic? Let's see, RCAT. Wow, RCAT is up 4%. If your strike is 7, that would be awesome. But I'm guessing it's not. But please share if you can. Let's see. Long-term RODY on IBIT. I don't really want to trade crypto. I mean, if I'm going to do crypto, it's going to be IBIT, but I'm taking a break from crypto options trading, because I am buying crypto. Well, I'm buying Bitcoin and MSTR on a daily basis for $10 a piece. That's pretty much enough of my damn portfolio. But yeah, like you said, if I did it, it would be on IBIT. I am buying my children IBIT though. I did move their accounts from Merrill Edge to Charles Schwab. So I will be buying them IBIT for the long term. Interviews, no. Well, just the morning show with we got 2 M Cheese and SB here. They're going to be on it, and SB's daughter. So if you count that as an interview, yes, it's more of just a live discussion. But fund managers, no plans on that, because I mean, what more needs to be said? Everyone's interviewing the same damn people. So how exciting really can it be? I was going to try to get Jay and Scott on. So if they are listening, I wanted to get them on for Christmas week. If not, no big deal. Because only because like nobody hears from them. So I'd like to get, let them get their thoughts out, but hey, if not, whatever. I don't care. Let's see. Yes. See, brother knows. Received the message about, well, did you do it? If you did a trade yesterday, yeah, I'll just tell you did a trade, but, I don't know. You added one of each index. Damn. See, SB's loaded over there. He's messing around with some bank, bro. All right. Well, we could talk about your trade, Parabolic, if you want, in the chat. But what else? I think that's it. We'll leave it up with Bitcoin. As always, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. Clearly, I am not a financial advisor. And this video is for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you're entertained. If not, come back. I don't know. Come back another day and we'll entertain you. Maybe. We'll try to. I don't know. We'll do our best. Right? Right. Reach out Discord. Love to discuss some pro options markets. Yeah, in the Discord, there's an options trading channel That's all we do. We talk options, strategies, and we help each other out. Kieran, yeah, all of you are welcome eventually. But again, to be honest, I booked my Monday morning schedule to the end of the year, and I'm taking a break after that. The Monday morning show won't have guests for January. We'll see how I feel. Maybe I'll start it back up in February, but I'm going to need a mental break, at least for a little bit. Maybe till March, because winter sucks. I hate winter. It's freaking cold. But yeah, one idea is I could have, let's say, like a round table of like, say Nikki, Kieran, Brother, and Parabolic, right? So, I could have you four on, and it'll just be like, we'll call it the morning show round table, right? And we could just talk about investing, right? Or whatever. You guys are here anyway, right? We'll even have DPC dad. We can't have his daughter. She won't get up until like 10, but at least, we can have her dad. And because again, he's up at the crack of dawn. He could talk, right? We could, camera, no camera. I honestly don't give a crap if you guys want to be on the camera, especially if it's a round table. It would just be an icon. But let me know think about it. It's not anytime soon. Just think like February or, early next year. And if you want to be a part of a round table, who would you want to be with? If it doesn't matter, then I'll just pick and choose, and we could do like groups of 4 or 5 at the same time. That way you're not pressured, by yourself. So I just thought about that now. I don't know. What do you guys think? Good. Anyway, we got 375 of you from YouTube and X. I appreciate all of you being here. Good stuff, good times. But yeah, if you enjoy this content, if you're on X, you can hit the heart. You can also hit repost, stream, or whatever they call it, retweet. If you're on YouTube, you hit the like button, the thumbs up, and then all that jazz. And you can actually share it on YouTube. That is an option. So if you want to share it, that helps the channel as well. But outside of that, I got nothing. So let's get to the keyword. Let's end it. Let's get our asses to work, and let's move on with this day. So if you made it this far in the video, and you want to prove it, do you have to wear a cone head again? Maybe not. Maybe if I could find my cone head. I'm talking about YouTube. Work. Yeah, no. Work. All right. What's the keyword? Is the keyword work? What's the keyword? What we got? We got anything good? I can't think of anything, so I'm gonna rely on you peeps. Exactly. We could talk about anything. We don't have to talk about stocks. We could talk about ibuprofen and coffee. Doesn't matter. Is that the key word, LA? Ibuprofen and coffee? It's like does that break your fast? Does ibuprofen break your fast? All right, I guess that's the key word. I mean, we'll take it, because that's what I had today for breakfast, and it worked. So if you made it this far in the video and you want to prove it to myself and all these other suckers out here, you got to prove that you watched RODY. Like, what the hell is RODY, right? I always think about like my thumbnail. Who the hell even click on that thumbnail? But obviously, yeah, if I put 200% annualized yield with my surprised face, yeah, the thumbnail would probably do better. But you know what? I don't even care. RODY, it's RODY. The fund is RODY. RODY the cricket. The thumbnail is what it is. So, oh, freaking well. But anyway, if you made it this far in the video and you want to prove it, you gotta say the keyword, which is ibuprofen and coffee. I know. Wonderful keyword, right? All right. Anyway, I'm out of here. Thank you for watching, and have a great day. Oh, yeah. Go to LA Appliance Channel, 7:30 a.m. Don't forget the premiere. He fixes everything. Not like here. We break stuff, right? We lose money over here, right? I'm out of here. Have a good day. Later.